Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. Today's video I wanted to talk about everyday homeschool moments that you have with your special needs child and wanted to kind of give permission for things to look different in your homeschool with your special needs child than would with a regular child that you're homeschooling. And when I say regular, I just mean typically developing versus neurodivergent. So I'm looking down at my notes because I just want to make sure that I keep on track. The first one is, it's okay if you're not doing core subjects every day. This was a lesson that I had to learn over the course of time. I was new to homeschooling. There's claw marks at the top of the cliff before God pushed me over it. I did not go willingly, and now I can't imagine doing anything but what I'm doing. However, it still took me a long time because I only had the homeschool or the brick and mortar school as a reference for how to homeschool my kids because I went through the system. So the thing that I wanted to express is like doing math sheets, doing readers, doing science, doing history in a very curriculum sort of way. Generally, from what I understand from most parents who special need or homeschool special needs, doesn't usually work like that. So I wanted to give permission right off the bat that you can and you probably will end up throwing away that model and adopting something completely new and different, and that is okay, and that is important to be able to understand. I'm okay if I do that. So when you do core subjects with your kids, it's okay if it only takes 10 minutes. So for me, my son's learning window, if you will, is very narrow. He's 17 years old, and as time has gone on, there's no sitting down for hours doing anything book workish. He doesn't like holding a pencil. If there's something about it that bothers him that didn't bother him when he was younger, there's so many different things, right? So we do 10-minute little chunks here and there, sometimes a half hour if he's having a really good day, but it's okay. It's okay if you spread it out throughout your day. I also have the blessing of homeschooling my two other teens who are typically developing, which means that I have to a certain amount, prioritize their education because we are doing the core subjects for quite a long time. And so it may look different than if you had him in a classroom with an EA. Darian spends a lot of time doing whatever it is that he does. He's a Gestalt language learner, so that means he learns languages in chunks from TV shows or YouTube videos that he watches, like these chunks over and over and over again, and then they'll pop up in his conversations throughout the day. And I've learned to accept that that's something that he needs for multiple reasons, but also that that's how he learns language. And so he has many words because I've leaned into that and allowed him to have that. It's okay to spread learning throughout the day. Sometimes scheduling it all at once might not work for you. So with my son, he doesn't like eating breakfast until around 11, 12, 1, depending on how he is feeling, how much he slept the night before, whatever else. So we make sure he has a lot for breakfast and supper, but that's his thing. But I know there's no way I'm doing anything with him at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not going to do anything until after he's eaten. So our schedule has to be very flexible, and I think island time. uh, so we do, he has a learning tablet that he does learning stuff like watching Word World, or he does a science program that changes the water from steam to ice cubes to whatever to get through a tunnel area. He has many different things on that tablet that are learning. And then he also will do his calendar time. I will work with the girls for a while, and then I will go do other stuff with him. Sometimes I do our home-based therapy program in his playroom. It's called the Sunrise Program if you're interested. And so it's throughout the day that we do stuff with him, and that's okay. Number 4, integrate as much play or child-led interests as you possibly can in your homeschool. So my son enjoys building to a certain extent things. So we've built a couple of different Titanics, sometimes with cardboard, sometimes with little Lego. I was at the Dollarama and found some ginormous cardboard cutout building dinosaurs, which he's really enjoyed. And the best part that he likes is just punching the things out of the giant rectangle, and then I have to build it. It's mommy's turn. But that's okay, because it's him using his hands. It's him watching mommy follow the instructions so that one day maybe he will do it if he wants. But it doesn't always have to look the way that typical school needs to look, right? There's a lot of things like that that are important. Try and find games that are taking turns. So things like Jenga, my son loves gravity, so every time something falls, he finds it hilarious. Dominoes is another one. We'll play the game of dominoes, and then we'll often take it and put it on its side, and then he knocks them over. He gets a kick out of every time something knocks over when we're halfway done building, and you're like, ah, and he thinks it's hilarious. But those are games that teach conversational skills in a certain way that is different and not at all bad. It's just different, but it's a way that they see the give and the take. And we still hope that Darian will learn to have like full conversations, because he does have a lot of words, but it might not happen for a while because he's not somebody who's very he's not outgoing. And so that's become something more apparent as he's gotten older, that he's like, yeah, I could do that, but I'm not gonna. So, but we still do those give and takes, because I want him to see that and have it reciprocated, so that one day, if he so chooses, he finds that motivation, then he has that built in automatically. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, don't cling to anything that isn't working. That was something that I had to learn, and I still sometimes need to learn, because I find such value in certain programs that I find, or different things, and I go, but this is going to be awesome. This is going to be so great. And he's like, but is it, Mom? And I cling to it for a little bit too long before I go, okay, again, like if he starts shutting down, if he starts having a meltdown, he's not learning anything. And I need to keep his green lights where he's like engaged and he's wanting to interact. I need to keep those open for as long as possible, right? And then the last thing is grace. Offer your child grace, because again, we don't always know what they're going through. We don't understand how their brains work. We probably know a lot more than the experts do often, but we sometimes don't understand. Like my son is 17, and when he gets very, very upset, he gets very, very upset. And sometimes it's about dirty laundry, and I'm like, okay, it's okay, we're gonna wash it, but not at 3 o'clock in the morning. Or he's like, sew it, and I'm like, not at 4 o'clock in the morning. And So there's times where we have to offer our child grace, and then on the flip side of that, offer yourself grace as well, because there's going to be so many times in this journey of parenting a special needs child that you are not going to have the answers. You're not going to know why, or you're going to look at it and go, you know, in hindsight, oh, I should have done that, or I should have done this. And you're like, but you were doing the best that you had with the information that you had available to you. Give yourself grace, because there's only so much you're going to be able to be like, yes, that was easy. That was 100% straightforward. I should have known better, right? So in this journey, the whole point of this video is to say everyday homeschooling, your child is going to look drastically different than it looks teaching a typically developing child. It's going to look drastically different than someone else's version of homeschooling their special needs, because special needs is a spectrum across the board, right? Whether it's Down syndrome, I've heard some Down syndrome kids end up with an autism diagnosis as well. With our kids with autism, sometimes they have PDA or ADHD as well as, and so everything is going to look different. Do not fall into the habit of comparing what someone else is doing and going, I suck because I didn't do this, that, or the other thing. And so I hope this video was an encouragement to you. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.